Unfolding the note, he read, "Meet me at the hotel as usual. I'll be waiting." His heart skipped a beat. Is this for Ya? My little girl is meeting men in a hotel? Ya would have told him if there was a seminar at a hotel. He showed the note to Agnes, his voice trembling. "Where is this from?" Agnes read the note, sweat breaking out across her brow. "Don't worry your head over this, I'll ask Ya." In the privacy of her room, she studied the typewritten message. It reeked of Foli's mischief. With a shaky hand, she called him. "Did you leave a note around when you were here yesterday?" she asked, her tone anxious. "Who says I did?" he replied. "You'd better beware, Foli." A tense silence hung between them until he broke it. "Listen, let me see you at the twilight on Thursday, and we'll talk about it. I have something to tell you. It's urgent. Nothing mischievous, I promise." The morning sun cast a warm glow over the yard as Agnes walked through the gates waving limply to Moses. "Mark it," Moses called out. Agnes smiled and nodded. "Come back soon," he added. Ya carefully reached for the car keys hanging on their usual hook by the door. With a swift motion, she reversed the car into the open yard, carefully avoiding the potted plants lining the driveway. Just as she shifted the gear, Moses appeared with a concerned expression. "Where do you think you're going, Miss Ya?" he asked, hands on his hips. "Just to the corner and back," Ya replied casually, though she avoided meeting his eyes. Moses raised an eyebrow. "Let me go with you. It's safer to have someone beside you." After a moment's hesitation, Ya nodded. "Fine, get in." As they drove through the narrow streets, Ya's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. A realization struck her, sharp and sudden, as they approached a junction. Where would she tell her uncle she was going? Should she trust him with what she knew about her mother? The questions weighed heavily on her chest. The idea of sharing her secret with her uncle seemed fraught with risk. What if he could not be trusted? What if he told other family members? In the fog of unsettling thoughts, she suddenly screeched to a halt, nearly hitting the car in front of her, her grip tightening on the steering wheel. Greatly alarmed, Moses sternly told her to stop the car at the bus stop. She pulled over and turned off the engine. Moses turned to her, puzzled. "What's wrong?" She glanced at her uncle, her heart pounding. "Uncle Moses, I'm sorry. Please take the car back home." Her lips quivered. "Are you okay, Miss Ya?" Moses frowned, his confusion visible. "I'll be fine, Uncle Moses." Reluctantly, Moses turned the car around and drove off, glancing in the rearview mirror at Ya standing by the roadside. She watched him disappear around the bend before she hailed a taxi. She chose a seat at the bus stop across the street, her gaze fixed on the entrance. Who else could she trust with the truth about her mother? Minutes turned into an hour, her thoughts tangled in uncertainty. Again, she was playing a dangerous game, and every move carried consequences she was not sure she was ready to face. Instantly, Kanor's name came up. She placed a call immediately. Fortunately, he was within the hotel premises. They sat in a corner where they could see the entrance of the hotel. "What's the problem? You sounded very anxious." "My mother's having an affair," Ya stated, her voice trembling as she recounted everything she had witnessed. "She's lonely," Kanor replied thoughtfully, glancing at her. Ya glared at him. "Is that all you have to say? Be patient, Tigress. I wish you would let them be. They are grown-ups," he spoke gently. "We don't understand their emotions. Your father's accident might have impaired his ability to be intimate, and she may long for someone to cuddle her." "Unbelievable," she exclaimed. "My father's arms are not injured. He has arms to hug his wife, Kanor." "It's more complicated than we can grasp. The doctor played on her vulnerability, but your uncle's involvement is what's truly baffling." Just then, she spotted her mother emerging from the hotel. "Kanor, that's my mum." She pointed her out, her heart racing. Connor gasped, his eyes widening. He checked his unwarranted admiration when she saw the pained look on Yar's face. He covered her hand with his, squeezing it gently. She pulled her hand away slowly, looking intently towards the entrance of the hotel. Foli stepped out a moment later. A wave of hesitation stopped her from pointing him out to Connor. She instantly regretted revealing a family secret to a total stranger so soon. As soon as Foli drove off, Yar got up and left immediately with a cursory thank you to Connor. Perplexed, he watched Yar disappear into a taxi. As she rode home, she reflected on her discussions with Connor. Yar began to see her mother in a different light. She was not an immoral woman, far from it. She was a victim of circumstance. Sometimes a shift in perspective was necessary to truly understand the struggles others faced. Her mother's actions, though questionable, seemed rooted in despair over her husband's plight, leaving her vulnerable to manipulation. Yar recognized the pain and confusion that clouded her mother's judgment. When she reached home, her mother's voice called out to her, "Yar, is that you?" Ignoring her, Yar walked straight to her room. Agnes, sensing her daughter's mood, followed her. "Yar, did you hear me call you?" Agnes asked, her voice tinged with concern. Without a word, Yar held the door open, signaling for her mother to leave. "Yar, what's with you?" "Mum, I'm tired, please," Yar replied, her tone flat. "Yar, don't turn against me," Agnes pleaded, stepping closer. "I'm begging you to listen to me." When Agnes didn't leave, Yar sighed and lay down on her bed. Agnes joined her, perching on the edge with a heavy sigh. "Listen, my child," she began, her voice trembling. "I am not guilty of what you accuse me of. I am not a deliberate participant in what you saw." Yar turned her head slightly, her expression blank. "I don't care. I saw what I saw." Her words hung in the air, sharp and final. Agnes's voice trembled. "I know, Yar. Forgive me. The doctor was sacked, and that is over now, please." Yar chuckled bitterly. "Your father found a note in one of the flower pots. Was that meant for you? Do I go to hotels?" Yar's question froze the words on Agnes's lips. "What do you mean by that?" She could barely speak. "Mum, I know you're cheating on Dad again." When Yar revealed all that she had observed, Agnes nearly fainted from shock. "I'll tell Dad one of these days." "No, you won't. It'll kill him. Yar, I love my husband very much." Yar tittered mockingly. "Please listen to me, Yar. You also love your father too much to make him grieve further in the state he's in." "Then I swear I'll kill you first before you go to that hotel again. I'm warning you." "Yar, you can do all you wish to me, but let me tell you something you don't know. Rumors could turn into facts when a case is rife with gossip. Even as innocent as you are, you may suffer from the backlash that'll engulf the family in such challenging times. Let sleeping dogs lie, please." She attempted to hold her daughter, but Yar flung her hand away and stormed out of the room. Agnes decided she would keep her woes to herself. She knew it would take some time to regain her daughter's trust again. The rift between them was like a laceration in her heart, but she would take it a day at a time. She might be living with the weight of her secret and living a lie beside her husband, but she would take care of her home the best way she could. The days wore on, and as evil-minded as he was, Foli now made it a habit to grope Agnes whenever he found her alone in the living room or in the kitchen. He usually had alcohol on his breath. "I am in love with you, Aggie. Honestly, I am. You must be out of your senses, Foli, to think I gave in to you." "Did I force you to make love to me? You needed it," he leered at her, pulling her against his body. She picked a short pestle and hit him on the head. He fell down unconscious. She ran to call Moses, who carried him out through the back door. On the way to the hospital, he regained consciousness. Moses took him home to explain to Gina how he came about the bump on his head. Subsequent weeks found Arya discovering more of the typewritten notes. He told Moses to pick them early for him if he saw any. Arya wondered why anyone would drop a note when they could easily make a phone call. There was something malicious going on. Yah had earlier denied knowledge of the clandestine notes, so who were the notes for? Could it be his wife was having an affair and someone was trying to expose her? Again and again he had heard her crying whilst talking to someone on the phone. She might be calling her lover. It would hurt to see another man in her life, but he should learn to be stoical about it. One evening, whilst preparing supper, Foli joined her in the kitchen. When she refused to answer his numerous unnecessary questions, he grabbed her. They struggled silently in the kitchen. Almost overpowered, Agnes directed the scuffle towards the door leading outside, where she knew Moses would be. She picked an old water pipe and began flogging Foli with it. Moses ran forward quickly and stopped her. She asked Foli to leave the house and never to come back. This story isn't over. What happens next? Find out in Color of Shame 6. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss it. See you soon.